Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to the next session of BFSI Powerhouse Series. Today, we have with us a new trainer, a new topic, Mr. Hamad Javed, and he will be covering the financial markets aspect of the BFSI series. Mr. Hamad is an ACCA fellow member, and he has also an MBA in finance, and he has somewhat around 11 years of experience that is based on banking and consulting. Before we jump into the session, I have a little prepared a WhatsApp group for the participants only, and the purpose of this WhatsApp group any feedback, share any requests to share from the participants to the trainers or to the program organizers. Another objective of that would be to convey communications that are critical, and we do not have time to cover all the participants. So for the next 1.5 minutes, what I'll be doing is I will be sharing a WhatsApp QR code with you guys, and you guys would need to scan that code and join for this session. The session, the WhatsApp group will be live from today, of course, and we will be using that for intended use. So let me just share my screen with you guys. You guys can see my screen. Okay, I can see some of the questions that you guys are not able to see. Thank you, Usman bin Khalid. Thank you, Nadia. I would request every one of you to please scan this code and join the WhatsApp group. It will be convenient for you guys. Thirteen participants till now. Sanaikbal, you can screenshot this and then use your WhatsApp settings to scan this code via gallery. So you will be able to join the group as well. Tamila, same for you. You can screenshot this. I'll upload this in the handouts as well. You can take a screenshot, go to your WhatsApp settings, click on the three dots icon, go to settings, then there would be a QR code icon on the top right corner. You select that, you go to the scan code, and at the bottom left there is an images icon. You go on that and select the image that you got from the screenshot. Yes, Abdul Razik, you're correct. They can join through camera as well, but there are some mobile phones which do not support this functionality. Perfect. I can see a lot of you have joined the group. So for now, I'll stop this. I'll invite Hamad to formally kick off the session. Hamad, can you please come on unmute?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good evening. I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for joining the session. I hope everyone can see me and I'm clearly audible. All right.
Yes, Hamad, I can hear you as well.
All right. Perfect. So Firoz, thank you so much for giving an introduction. Firoz has also given a brief introduction, but let me share some details about myself. I completed my ACCA qualification back in 2011, and right away I joined PwC Pakistan, and I worked at PwC for about a year. In fact, a little less than a year. Then I moved towards the banking industry, and then in the banking industry, I served there for about 7.5 years in two different banks. And throughout my career in banking, I was looking after credit risk management, primarily corporate and investment banking deals. During that phase, I worked on a merger and acquisition deal as well from the credit point of view. So dealing with regulators and valuators, for example, KPMG, etc., etc. So I had a very good time with respect to all that, understanding financial markets, the financial system. And from there, then I moved back in 2018. I moved to the academic industry full time, and I'm working as an assistant professor at Zabist in the Faculty of Management Sciences. I'm also the co-head for the Finance and Accounting cluster. I look after all the courses related to finance and accounting, financial reporting, dealing with ACCA, ICAP, CFA Institute, so on and so forth. So that's about it in terms of introduction, and I think we should start off with the session. I'll be sharing my screen now, and then we can continue with today's session. Just give me a minute.
Hamad, let me give you the presenter rights.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Now, there you go. Now you will be able to share your screen.
Can everyone look at the screen? Firoz, can you confirm is the screen is visible?
Yes, Hamad, I can see the screen.
All right, perfect.
And the
Thank you.
participants are also confirming.
All right. All right. So the topic we have today is related to financial markets. Now, when we think of financial market, it seems like a very easy topic, and I won't say it's technical, but there are a lot of things that we need to understand when it comes to financial markets, and we'll be covering a lot of things. today. In fact, we have two sessions back to back. One is about the types of financial markets, and then the other one is the participants in the financial markets and their objectives, so on and so forth. But what I've done here is I'm going to combine these two sessions all together because they are interlinked, and we are going to take it accordingly. Now, the content in slides would be really, really less because I tend to have a discussion over things rather than just write the content on the screen. So let's quickly go through the agenda we have for today. First, we are going to understand what are financial markets. The second point would be the type of financial markets, and there are different ways we are going to look at this, right? And the third one is the key differences between these markets. The fourth would be the participants, and the fifth would be the objective of various participants. Of course, uh, like I said initially when I started off, that I'm going to have a discussion based session. So it would be a dialogue rather than a monologue. So we are going to continue like that. So my first question, in your opinion, and I don't want, honestly, I do not want, and I do not even like definitions. What is actually a financial market? If the audience can participate, please.
If anybody wants to come on unmute and explain, I'll be happy to do that. Just raise your hand.
Do we have any answers, any opinions from the participants?
We have Usman Muhammad, and he's saying where securities are traded. Then we have Abdul Razik. He's saying a place where we trade financial instruments. Then we have 3 or 4 raised hands. Muhammad Waqas Qazi. Let's unmute our participants and
Yeah,
hear for them
sure,
what they
sure,
have to
sure.
say.
Of course, of course.
I have unmuted you. You're on self mute. Unmute yourself, and you're good to go.
Assalamu alaikum. I believe the financial market is a markets or a system where different people, individuals, or in companies can trade for different different banking instruments, not limited to equities, bonds, or various currencies and derivatives.
All right, perfect. All right, thank you all the participants who gave their uh, definitions, their answers. In fact, all of you are one way or another correct. The way I define financial market is it's a place or a platform where participants can buy or sell financial products. And why do we say buy or sell rather than using the word trade? Will understand this because there's a difference between that, and we need to be sure, okay, why we are not using that particular term. See, in fact, in our minds, what we believe is something else at times, and the words we actually use change the actual meaning behind that. So what we need to do is make sure कि हमें ये चीज का अंदाजा रहे कि what are we trying to convey. So, but if you look at the formal definitions, the Corporate Finance Institute, in fact, defines financial market as a marketplace that provides an avenue for the sale and purchase of financial assets. Again, the Corporate Finance Institute itself does not use the word trade. The Wall Street defines financial market is a place, is a market where sale and purchase of financial product occurs. It acts as a platform for sellers and buyers to connect and deal in their financial asset at a price determined by the market forces. And lastly, the financial market is a place where capital is moved from entities that hold too much capital to entities suffering from its shortage. This is how the CFA Institute defines financial markets. Now, if you notice, there's similarity between all the definitions. There are similarities between what you guys actually define, but in all these four definitions listed in the slides, we can see that everywhere the term used is buying and selling of financial products. Technically, when we think of trading, the word trading, it generally refers to the same thing, but there's a fine line, there's a thin line between this, and we need to understand in today's session that what it is. So we'll wait a little while for that and we'll continue. So I'm just stopping here with respect to the definitions and we'll continue. The first is we need to distinguish between the financial markets. Now we have the primary markets, we have the secondary markets. Now, these are not the type of markets. There are different ways we are going to define financial markets, and we need to understand how. The primary, when we use the word primary market, it is a market whereby the product is itself being sold for the first time, right? And when we use the word secondary market, it's the market where product is being sold between a buyer and a seller. So it, although when you just read the definition, it seems pretty similar, but अगर मैं इसको आसान लफ्जों में और बताऊं, primary market is the one whereby a security is actually created. When a product is created, product, I mean the financial product, when a security is created, this is where the primary market plays the role. Whilst when the product is already there, and it is
Hamad, I think we have lost your audio and video as well.
sorry for the distortion in the connection. Can you all hear me now? Firoz, can you please confirm is my screen is visible and I'm audible as well?
Yes, Hamad.
All right. I asked a question before getting disconnected. Are there any questions from the audience at the moment? Any confusion between what would be referred to as a primary market and what would be referred to as a secondary market?
I think we lost your audio at that point. Can you?
All right. I'll repeat. I'll just recap. I said that there are various ways we can dissect the financial market. I would say you can distinguish the financial markets either as primary or you can do it as secondary, right? These are not the type of markets. This is in fact a distinction between the nature of the markets itself. So primary market is where the product is being sold for the first time, which is a security is being sold for the first time, while the secondary market is where the product is being sold between a buyer and a seller. Now, there might be confusion among some people के by definition both seem similar. तो difference क्या है इनके बीच? And to make it very simple, primary market वो market है whereby the security is actually created and sold for the first time. So it means that any security which is created for the first time comes in the primary market. Once it's in the market, the second step is simple. It comes to the secondary market, and then I can sell it to someone would buy it, etc., so on and so forth. So whenever a security is created, that security is sold in the primary market. That is how you distinguish between these two type of markets. Once we understand what's the main line due to which we distinguish, we can identify easily कौन सी market primary कहलानी चाहिए, कौन सी market secondary कहलानी चाहिए. Is there any confusion with respect to this particular slide? कोई question है audience में से? So please share your questions with us.
Not yet, Hamad.
All right, perfect. Now, once we distinguish the financial markets, the next step is that we need to categorize it. How do we categorize the financial market, and what do we actually mean by categorizing the financial markets? The financial market can be categorized as money markets, or it can be categorized as a capital market. When we use the word money market, we actually means a security which is being traded or which is being sold or which is being bought, but the security itself by nature is short term. By nature, the security itself is short term, and I assume that all of us understand what is meant by short term. The security by nature has a maturity of maximum 12 months. When we refer to or when we categorize a market as a capital market, the securities by nature in that particular market can fall or would be classified as a capital market, and these securities have to be long term. So any security with a maturity of more than 12 months would automatically be classified as part of your capital market. Now, a very simple question with respect to this. Can there be a primary market which can also be classified as part of capital markets? This is a question for the audience. If you can share your answers in the text box, or if you want to just have a discussion, you can ask Firoz to unmute you. Again, I'll repeat the question. Can primary market be also classified as capital market?
We have a participant who has raised his hand, Muhammad Asim Akram. I'll unmute you, Asim, and you can speak.
Yes, I think the example of IPO, that the capital market can be a primary market.
Example of IPO. All right, Muhammad Asif, right?
Asim,
Can
Mohammed
you
Asim.
Asim, if you can continue this discussion until. Acha, generally when we talk about market, the first thing which comes in our mind is that there has to be some sort of a market, right? Which we can see, for example, generally financial markets, when we talk about financial markets, either a bank comes in our mind or the stock market, stock exchange comes in our mind. Then if I go by what you are saying, where is this market? Why can't we see this market? Do you have any idea? Can you share your thoughts on that? Feroz, is Asim still with us?
Asim is there. Asim is on mute. Asim, can you unmute and speak up? Yes, Asim is
Yes.
there now.
Actually, I thought that as you defined the primary market where the security is sold on the first time, so the
Yeah,
capital
yeah.
market in which the companies when go first time they created the security in shape of, you may say that, the shares. So they go to they go to the market, that the market available is the stock market, where they can issue their shares initially.
Uh, Excellent. Actually, what you thought is absolutely right, and your answer is actually absolutely right as well. Uh, IPO is the prime example of primary market, which would also be classified as a capital market. So, but where is this primary market? Is when we use the word market, it does not necessarily means that there has to be a physical building we can see कि हाँ भाई ये market है. जभी the definitions at times refer to the word as platform, right? So when an IPO takes place, actually the IPO does not take place on the stock market. वो stock market में नहीं होता. IPO हो जाने के बाद, once the security is bought and sold in the primary market. And what's that primary market? Now we are going to discuss that. So we are going to cover this aspect as well. Once it's bought and sold in the primary market, then afterwards this security automatically transfers to the secondary market. So how does the primary market works? So for example, ABC company is going to be listed for the first time, and of course it's going to undertake an IPO. IPO is done via different banks. Okay? Banks participates as advisors, as underwriters, and they basically market the securities. And they market the securities in two ways. Some portion of the security is marketed to institutional investors, and some portion of the securities is invited for or is kept for general public. The general public can fill up the application form, submit the sum in a bank in the account of the company, and then the process starts. So and what's the process? Of course, that's not part of today's topic, but then that all that happens, and people who actually bought those securities becomes the owner. उनके पास वो security आ जाती है. That is what all happened in the primary market. Actually कोई अलग से stock market नहीं जा रहा, कोई stock market में ये shares अभी तक आए ही नहीं हैं. All of this is happening in the primary market. Now let's assume Mohammed Asim and उससे पहले Usman थे, both of them and myself, we all bought shares in the primary market of ABC company. Now, once we have bought it, primary market is gone. The next day or after a couple of days, the company would be listed on the stock exchange now. And because we as primary investors became part of that market, became part of that company. If now one of us sells the security to, let's say, Feroz, now we can say this security is being traded in the secondary market. So this is how it actually works from primary to secondary. By categorization, both the primary market used and the secondary market used is capital market. Why? Because the security by nature we are using would be classified as a security which is considered long term. At least in our example right now. We'll take further examples. These are part of our slides and discussions, but in a while. So Joe, initially, when we were reading the definition or we were discussing that definition, I specifically pointed out of the fact that none of the definition use the word trading. They use the word buying and selling. And the reason behind that was very simple. The reason was that कि once when a security is actually created, जैसे अभी हमारे साथ आसिम ने शेयर किया कि IPO के केस में, so in case of an IPO, the shares are actually issued for the first time, right? So what we say that these securities are being created, new securities are being created. If these securities are being created, so ये create होके you're selling it, they are not being traded. The word trading generally means that you bought something which was already there in the market, you bought it from a market, then you sell it to someone else. So word trading का जब इस्तेमाल करना है, then we are generally referring to the secondary market. And when we use the word buy and sell, it can cover both the secondary and the primary market. Hence, ये जो financial market की definition itself जो लिखी गई है, वो बहुत सोच समझ के लिखी गई है. If we can just quickly refer to that again, so we'll understand what was this definition. Financial markets are a type of market that provides an avenue for the selling and purchasing of financial assets. In this regard, we can clearly understand कि क्यों ये word इस्तेमाल किया गया है और किस तरह हम लोगों ने इसको treat करना है. With respect to capital markets, with respect to the discussion of how primary comes in the capital market, how it actually moves from capital to money markets. If anyone has any confusion or any question or any comment, please share with us. Then we'll move to the money markets. Firoz, please let me know if there's anyone.
There are a couple of questions. I think we should take them.
Yeah, please.
Please define security 2 in detail. This is Syed Muhammad Waqas. Sorry, Syed Muhammad Wasi.
ठीक है. And what is the other question? I'll see if they are interlinked or anything like that.
Sure. I'll go through the questions once. Give the example of primary and secondary market. I think you have done that already. Then there is DFI come in primary or secondary markets.
Okay, I'll explain that as well.
Then there is Sayyida Seher Raza is saying, I can see same definitions for both markets in the slide for primary and secondary, I guess. The description of money market and capital market is same. Both have same definition.
Yes.
And I think they're all
right. I'll start in reverse because he's actually right. I looked at this as well. There's a typo with me. What I'll do, I'll change the definition and I'll share it with Firoz so that you guys can have the correct content. Then now I'll take the first question. The question was, why do we what is meant by security? If I can define, if I can explain that bit. Security actually means to be safe, right? To protect. Why do we call it financial securities? Is basically related to the same thing. Initially, जब capitalism आया, and if you look at the history of how the capitalism came and what everything is connected, the concept of public limited companies, so on and so forth, and it's a huge discussion. We don't have time for that. So the purpose for actually making public limited companies was to create financial security. And the financial security, if you just link it to the fact that if you invest in that, your liability is limited and you're secured financially. If you look at the fixed income securities, they are far more secured, and then the risk aspect come. I mean, we can have a big discussion on that, but our topic is financial market, so we have to be a little time bounded. But मैं समझाने की आपको सिर्फ ये कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि the word financial securities refer to all the financial products, ठीक है? and products से मुराद not loans are not part of securities. इनको securities इसलिए बोलते थे, these were separate certificates which people can actually buy, and whenever you feel कि आपका risk level बढ़ रहा है और आपकी risk appetite similar नहीं हो रही, तो you can actually sell it. Hence the concept of public limited companies, which reduced your liability, which gave you an option to quickly liquidate your money. In fact, if I remember correctly, there's a session on financial risk as well. So usme we'll be covering a lot of things as similar to that. Uh, I hope this answer your question to an extent. If not, please leave another comment. So I'll try to cover this again. The second was primary and secondary market. वो हमने cover कर लिया था. There was another question which was related to whether DFIs would come as part of primary market or secondary market. If you can just give me a little time, we'll come to certain examples, and there I'll take up your question again and then explain clearly. Up, let's just talk about money markets. तो थोड़ा सा आगे move करते हैं फिर. Capital market के बिल्कुल reverse है money market. Money market refers to a market whereby the securities are bought and sold, and the securities are short term in nature. Again, my question remains the same. क्या money market के अंदर primary market हो सकती है? Capital market, it's generally we can refer to it a little easier compared to money markets. So any answers are welcomed. Firoz, if anyone wants to speak, please unmute them. Otherwise, अगर comments आ रहे हैं, तो please share those with me.
Sure, still waiting.
I'll just repeat my question again if someone missed out. Can money market be distinguished as secondary and primary market? Yeah, in fact, if we take it from another way, क्या money market के अंदर primary market का concept हो सकता है? It can be yes, it can be no, it can be you're not sure, but just think about it and give me your answer.
Mohammed Safir is saying issuance of short-term debenture, I guess. Mohammed Suleiman Samab agrees with you. Tamila Hassan also agrees with you. Badrun Naeem is saying yes, money market can have primary market, for example, issuance / private placement of commercial papers and short-term sukuks. Danish is saying not sure. Mohammed Bilal is saying yes. Muhammad Ali Sami is saying money market, yes. Price bonds, T-bills. Kadir Ahmed saying yes. Nakash is saying yes, there can be a secondary primary market. Mohammad Suleiman Zamib is saying issuance of new notes, price bonds by SBP.
Yes, of course. The prime example of all of these examples, which actually some participants shared, were perfect with respect to the fact कि short term debentures हो सकते हैं, commercial papers हो सकते हैं, sukuks हो सकते हैं short term nature के. But if we talk about primary market, तो सबसे ज़्यादा primary market short term के अंदर या money market के concept में आती है with respect to T-bills. Government actually or the state bank via the state bank for the government issues T-bills that is referred to as a primary market because the T-bills come in the market for the first time, and within that time period, if an investor wants to trade those, if an investor wants to who actually bought those T-bills as part of the auction wants to sell it to someone else, this this part would be classified as or would be categorized in fact as money market under secondary market. So either it's your money market or it's your capital market, it doesn't really matter. We can have primary and we can have secondary in both. The only difference between these is very simple, and the difference is when you're creating the security, when the security is coming in action for the first time, we would be classifying or we'll be referring to that as primary. If the security is existing already and now it's being sold or bought between two parties, we would be referring to that as secondary. Now, some of you shared commercial papers, some of you also shared private placements, so on and so forth. Now, private placements per se doesn't necessarily have to be money market. They can be part of capital market as well. They can be part of money market as well, depending upon the nature of security. So the nature of security determines whether the security is part of your money market or the security is part of your capital market. Some other examples which we need to understand is the interbank trading, which happens almost every day. Interbank trading, एक बैंक, if anyone does not know, एक बैंक के पास fund की shortage होती है, because at the end of the day, all banks need to square their position, right? ऐसा नहीं होगा कि कोई बैंक जो है वो shortage पर होगा. So you need to square a position, and that is because of there are certain regulation by the State Bank of Pakistan. So what banks do, if a certain bank is short of certain currency or certain amount, the bank refers or approaches another bank in the secondary market. Now this A bank is going to B bank, and they're actually dealing in the secondary market. This won't be classified as primary market. A bank जाता है B bank के पास, कहता है मेरे पास इतने billion rupees short है, I need to borrow overnight. And we may heard this term कि overnight borrowing हो रही है. The concept of Kaibor, the rate of Kaibor comes from this interbank trading, Karachi interbank offered rate, Libor, Kaibor, Euribor, etc. Right? So this would be classified as a secondary market. Now, इसी से related, I'm going to ask you a question. State Bank of Pakistan also undertakes OMO, which is known as open market operation. It's part of the bank's monetary policy, or in fact, money management schemes. Where would you classify OMO? Would OMO be classified as primary or secondary? ये पहला question है. Second, would it be part of money market or capital market? Please give your answers, and then we'll have a discussion on this as well. Firoz, please let me know once the answer starts to come in, or if someone wants to speak up.
Participants can raise their hand as
Firoz, do we have any replies?
Not yet. I think you should repeat the question if
I'll
somebody
repeat
missed
the
it.
question. Yeah, I'll repeat the question. The central bank, be it state bank or any other central bank, uh, undertakes open market operations, and it's part of open market operation is part of the monetary policy, implementing the monetary policy, right? So would an OMO be classified as primary market or a secondary market? That's the first question. And if so, whatever your answer is, your thoughts are, would it be money market or capital market? So think about this and give me your answers.
We have an answer from Mohammed Umar.
Yes, please, Umar.
Umar is saying OMO falls in money market as it sells short-term securities. Badrun Naeem is saying secondary market, money market. Adnan Naseem is saying secondary, money market. Kadir Ahmed saying OMO be classified in primary market and money market.
Can you please repeat the last person's name जिन्होंने बोला है कि OMO is primary market and money market?
Kadir Ahmed.
Kadir, if you can kindly share your thoughts, why do you believe it's primary market?
Mohammed Umar is also saying my answer is primary and money market.
All right, Mohammed Umar, if you can, any one of you can share your thoughts. Why do you guys believe it's going to be money market and not secondary market?
Kadir and Umar, you can raise your hand and I can unmute you. Come on, Kadir, you can be brave enough to raise your hand for this. Kadir is saying it's applied for the first time by SBB. Usman Muhammad is saying money market for managing liquidity for short-term working capital requirements. Mohammed Umar is saying it's primary market because State Bank injects money for the first time to stimulate economy.
Okay, so there are different answers to this, and we need to understand clearly कि money market थोड़ा सा I'll just quickly talk about OMO के OMO क्या है अगर किसी को ना पता, because of course there are certain banking terms जो लोगों को नहीं idea होता. OMO is a tool, it's a way the central bank actually controls the or implements the monetary policy. The flow of money is controlled via that. The central bank can sell securities. Securities से मुराद T-bills होते हैं. These are short term. It can sell it to banks and when it sell it तो पैसा state bank में आ जाता है. Circulation में market circulation के अंदर से पैसा चला जाता है. ठीक है? And if the state bank wants to give or put money in the market, ठीक है? तो state bank would sell the securities. In fact, sorry, state bank would buy the securities from commercial banks और वो उनसे buy करेगा और उनसे अगर वो buy कर रहा होगा तो पैसा फेंकेगा market के अंदर. Now, when you guys actually looked at OMO from the state bank's perspective, so you guys gave an answer कि भाई ये primary market होगी. But हम लोग थोड़ा सा इस चीज को शायद कंफ्यूज कर गए. देखो, स्टेट बैंक, if state bank wants to generate more money, और हम लोग ने टी बिल्स की इनिशियली बात की थी, तो टी बिल्स इशू होते हैं मनी मार्केट में, क्लासिफाई होते हैं, प्राइमरी मार्केट में इशू होते हैं, बिकॉज this is when the state bank wants to borrow, right? So it issues new T-bills in the market, and these T-bills come, उनकी auction होती है, bidding होती है, bidding के हिसाब से फिर वो particular investors को वो T-bills दे देता है, उनसे पैसे ले लेता है, पैसे government के पास जा रहे होते हैं. That's how it works. But open market operation में, remember this, ओपन मार्केट ऑपरेशन टू वे है. स्टेट बैंक सिक्योरिटी बाय भी कर रहा होगा या स्टेट बैंक सिक्योरिटी सेल कर रहा होगा. एंड इट एक्चुअली रेफर्स टू, इट इंक्लूड्स द वर्ड ओपन मार्केट. स्टेट बैंक जंप्स इन द मार्केट एंड वो कमर्शियल बैंक के पास जो फॉर एग्जांपल टी बिल्स वगैरह रखे हुए हैं वो उनसे खरीद लेगा. वो उनसे खरीदेगा और पैसे देना शुरू कर देगा. जब वो पैसे देगा, मार्केट के अंदर पैसे आ जाएंगे, ऑब्वियसली money का flow different हो जाएगा, and vice versa. So now if we look at from this perspective, do you guys still believe it's going to be primary market? Please share your thoughts.
Mark, can you recall the question? There's a participant who wants to.
All right, sure. I explained OMO, and I said that think about it from this perspective that state bank jumps in the market, the open market. जब भी इसका नाम ही है open market operations. The state bank buys security from the market and puts in money. So if you take OMO from this perspective, you look at OMO from this perspective, so would this be primary market?
Mohammed Fahim Islam is saying now it seems secondary markets.
Yeah. देखो, हम लोगों ने एक बात को शुरू में तय कर लिया था कि जब सिक्योरिटी एक्चुअली सिक्योरिटी क्रिएट होगी ना तो प्राइमरी होगी. Commercial banks do not create security. I mean, they do. They can issue a commercial paper, but जब हम ये T-bills की बात कर रहे हैं तो commercial banks actually don't do that. So OMO generally का word इसलिए यूज कर रहा हूँ because अगर स्टेट बैंक फर्स्ट टाइम सिक्योरिटी क्रिएट करके इशू कर रहा है तो ऑब्वियसली प्राइमरी में आएगा. बट जनरली ओमो फॉल्स अंडर द एम्बिट ऑफ secondary market, right? We have questions, we have comment that can we take a namaz break. So we are going to take namaz break in a couple of minutes, then we'll join back. Firoz, can you confirm when we can take a namaz break?
I think if you can take 5 more minutes, that would be fine. Or
All
if
right.
you're done with what you're currently explaining, then we can take it right now.
All right. So I'll just quickly ask everyone. So far, what we discussed is what is a financial market, and I believe and I hope that all of you are clear with respect to how we are going to define financial market. We discussed the distinction between financial market. We can classify it as primary, or we can do it as secondary, and what's the reason behind it. And then we've taken up the concept of money market and capital market. And then we combine all these 4 factors together and we concluded that yes, it's possible to have a money market which can be primary or secondary, and we can have a capital market which can be primary and secondary. And we actually took various examples to clarify this. If anyone with respect to this so far have any questions or comment, please share with us. If not, then we'll take a break and then we'll join back after 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll just wait for a couple of minutes for you guys to give me your comments, if any questions, anything.
There are 2 or 3 comments.
Yeah.
Noor is saying if SPP is going to buy back, it seems like secondary market. Mohammed Umar is saying if State Bank wants to raise money, it will issue security in primary market. If it wants to inject money in economy, then it will buy existing securities, secondary market. That's his understanding.
Yes, it's absolutely right, but there has been instances that is just a comment. और ये बात हम लोग ने I believe अभी डिस्कस कर ली थी कि जनरली इसको हम सेकेंडरी में क्लासिफाई करते हैं, बट ऑफ कोर्स व्हेन स्टेट बैंक इज creating securities, creating and issuing new T-bills, तो of course ये चीज होती है, but at times there have been instances जहां पे the state bank actually buys security और वही जो security उसके पास already होती है उसी को मार्केट में वापस सेल कर. So OMO के अंदर it's not necessary that every time in an OMO new securities are created. That's why I actually use the word कि generally OMO would be classified as secondary market. But of course अगर हमें पता चल जाए कि स्टेट बैंक ने न्यू टी बिल्स इशू किए हैं तो सिचुएशन डिफरेंट होगी. Because see, OMO can happen fortnightly, it can happen anytime the state bank would want. ठीक है, सेंट्रल बैंक है. अब फॉर एग्जांपल हमारे कंट्री के अंदर मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी रेट फोर्टनाइटली डिसाइड किया जा रहा होता है, बट दैट डज नॉट मीन के इफ नीड बी इट कैन नॉट हैपन बिफोर दैट. इट कैन, एंड इन पास्ट इट हैज हैपन कि मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी की मीटिंग पहले हो जाए फोर्टनाइट से एंड अ न्यू डिसीजन इज टेकन अप. सो ऑफ कोर्स दैट कैन हैपन. होता ये कि स्टेट बैंक ने मार्केट से सिक्योरिटीज बाय की, अपने पास होल्ड की, एक हफ्ते के बाद सिक्योरिटीज वापस मार्केट में जो है लाके सेल कर दी. वो उस वक्त जो स्वीपिंग की है स्टेट बैंक ने, because that was required at that moment in time. There were certain anomalies going on in the market which state bank wanted to uh, सॉर्ट आउट. तो स्टेट बैंक ने उसको स्वीप किया उस वक्त मार्केट से. जब सिक्योरिटीज को बाय किया उस वक्त उसको पैसे डालने थे, उसने डाले, सिक्योरिटीज को बाय कर लिया कमर्शियल बैंक से. एक हफ्ते के बाद, 4 दिन के बाद, व्हेन सिचुएशन improved a bit, the state bank stepped back in the market and sold the same securities. See, so if you look at from this perspective, you'll realize, yeah, fine, there's no concept of primary market over here. I hope this clarifies your confusion and answers all your questions. Please give your feedback अगर आपका ये चीजें clear हो गई हैं, and then I think we should take a namaz break. We'll join back in 15 minutes.
Sure, we'll join
Is
back
that okay?
at 7:16. Yes, that's perfectly fine.
All right, perfect. Thank you. All right. Firoz, we shall start, I think. Can you please confirm I'm audible and my screen is visible?
Yes, Hamad, your screen is visible and I can hear you as well.
All right. Since we took a break and just before the break, I gave a couple of answers. Can you please confirm किसी की कोई query या कोई comment तो नहीं है?
No, nothing new.
All right. All right. So we'll move forward. So once we're done with the categories, we'll look at the types of financial markets we have, and pretty simple. We have equity markets, we have bond markets, we have commodity markets, we have derivative markets, and of course we have foreign exchange markets. Now, I assume that we have a fair idea of this, but of course I'll quickly go through all of these. Generally, if you just go and search about financial markets, you may not find the way we are discussing these things here. ठीक है, आप टाइप्स लिखोगे perhaps आपको पता चलेगा कि प्राइमरी या सेकेंडरी है, कभी टाइप्स लिखोगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि ये इक्विटी मार्केट, बॉन्ड मार्केट, कमोडिटी मार्केट है, so on and so forth. But I believe it's better to always have different ways of understanding things. So distinguish करें प्राइमरी सेकेंडरी के बीच, क्लासिफाई करें या कैटेगराइज करें एज मनी एंड कैपिटल, और टाइप्स में लेकर आए उसकी टाइप को कि वेदर इक्विटी होगा, बॉन्ड होगा, कमोडिटी होगा, डेरिवेटिव होगा, फॉरेन एक्सचेंज होगा. Now, equity market hai, of course, when we talk about equity market, we're talking about shares, both ordinary and preference. ठीक है. Bond market hai, we're talking about all type of bonds, fixed income security rather than bonds के बजाय the word, I believe the better word is fixed income securities. इसके अंदर अब गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज भी आएंगी, इसके अंदर प्राइवेट सिक्योरिटीज भी आएंगी. इसमें if we talk about Pakistan, we'll have T-bills, we'll have PIBs, we have TFC, which is Term Finance Certificate. Pakistan के अंदर bond के नाम से कुछ issue नहीं होता, TFC के नाम से issue होता है. We can have sukuks, debentures, and what other any other name you want to give to the particular instrument, that's up to you, or the particular security. For example, years back, Engro issued a bond by the name of Rupaya certificate. Now, although it was classified, it was called as Rupaya certificate, but it was by nature itself, it was a bond. So we'll be classifying it in the bond market. Commodity market is at times also classified as part of financial market. यहाँ पे we're talking about commodities, and not all commodities. There are certain commodities, for example, oil, of course, one of the major thing, coal, and edible oil, cotton, sugar, rice. These are five, six major commodities I'm talking about. These are the markets where you can actually trade them. You have their futures, you have their ready rates available, and these are really important, especially if you're going to or switch towards, or you're making a career in financial analysis. The reason being, if you do not understand commodity markets, there are chances that you might face difficulties in understanding your clients you want to analyze. For example, if you talk about coal, coal is really important for certain industries, including your energy sector, your cement sector. Coal Pakistan में कहाँ से आता है, कैसे आता है, उस coal की अपनी prices क्या है? See, now the commodity market, why it's important, why, although it seems like it's very easy, we know equity market, we know bond market, what's the big deal? The deal here is that we need to interlink markets as well. So for example, you're working for XYZ company, and that company, the company's raw material it uses is falls under a particular commodity. Let's say it's coal or it's oil. Now the oil itself, you need to understand where the pricing of this particular commodity is standing, because that would impact the company's cost. But at the same time, because we are importing that commodity, where are we standing in the foreign exchange market? So when we talk about the foreign exchange market, the name suggests we all understand what is meant by foreign exchange market. This is the market where all the currencies are uh, traded. The major currencies, होती तो सारी currencies हैं, but हम कुछ majors की बात करते हैं. Or in this market, we need to understand a few things, that how the quote is given. There are two type of quotes. I'll just give you a brief about this as well. There is an indirect quote and there is a direct quote. ठीक है, generally indirect quote में currency लिखी जा रही होती है, but of course it varies. In the US it's direct quote, in Britain or in UK it's direct quote, here it's indirect quote, so on and so forth. तो आपके quotes किस तरह के आ रहे हैं, currencies किधर जा रही है, because obviously based on the current market you predict the future. Remember this. This is how we are going to work. And then we have the derivative market. We're not shy from the word derivatives. We know what are derivatives. You studied it. You're talking about your futures. You're talking about your options. You're talking about swaps, and I'll even say that your forwards. Although forwards की कोई classified market नहीं है, because it's over the counter. But when you approach a bank, you get a forward cover for yourself. So at that point in time, you and the bank have created a market that is a primary market, and that would be a derivative market. Why is it? It's a primary market because the bank has just created this particular derivative for you, right? And because of course it is a derivative, तो इसको हम derivative market के अंदर classify करेंगे. You're unable to trade this. Forward is not tradable. इसका मतलब है कि forward के केस में you will always and only have a primary market. You will never have a secondary market. Foreign exchange market के अंदर, just think about it. Foreign exchange market में क्या है? You are swapping currencies. For example, you're selling PKR and you're buying pounds. You're selling pounds. You're buying dollars, so on and so forth. So uh, do we, from this perspective, do we have a primary market in foreign exchange market? It's a question for the audience, if I'm not clear. I just received a question from Umar, and Umar, I'll answer it in a while. Can you guys please answer me? Can there be, is there a, when you talk about foreign exchange market, is there any primary market? Firoz, can you please confirm if there are any comments?
There is a comment from Suleiman Samab. He's saying no. Rohan Ahmed is saying no, there is no primary market. Mohammed Muhtasam is saying secondary.
Yeah, it does, and it is. I have a question from Umar, and it's actually a very valid question. He's saying, does all these markets operate in isolation? And not necessarily. To an extent, these markets are influenced by one another, right? How, see, all these markets are firstly influenced by the economy, how the economy. So if the economy is going good, of course it would be reflected on your equity market. It would also be reflected on your bond market. it would also be reflected on your commodity market. But फिर सबकी अपनी isolation में कुछ how would I say fundamentals हैं. How, for example, commodity market की बात करें, despite the fact that the economy of Pakistan per se is doing brilliantly, but not necessarily कि आपकी commodity market भी is working in the same way. And why am I saying that? The commodity market itself is influenced by the different commodities traded on that particular market. So अगर पीछे से कॉटन की फसल क्रॉप ही खराब आया और इस दफा कॉटन का आउटपुट कम है तो प्राइसेस ऊपर जा रही हैं बिकॉज ऑफ दैट, या कॉटन का क्रॉप खराब है, द क्वालिटी ऑफ कॉटन इज नॉट गुड, या कॉटन बहुत ज्यादा बन गया है. सिमिलरली शुगर की बात कर लेते हैं. सो शुगर का आउटपुट बहुत ज्यादा आया है, so the prices are going down. So in that particular area, the commodity market, local commodity market, would be performing differently to the other markets. But yes, these market, because all of these are financial markets, तो ये एक दूसरे को जरूर influence करेंगी. And of course सबसे ज्यादा influence foreign exchange market का होता है on all the markets, and the derivative market is influenced by the other markets. And I believe we all understand why derivative market is influenced by other markets. Uska reason ye hai that derivative itself is drives its price, its value from the underlying asset. तो जब asset के अंदर issues आ रहे होंगे तो derivative market accordingly ही काम करेगी. Equity market, all right, I'll just explain equity market. Equity market refers to a market whereby the buying and selling of equities take place. It can be primary, it can be secondary. How it can be primary? एक कंपनी आईपीओ करती है, ऑफ कोर्स आईपीओ है तो इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफरिंग है, पहली दफा शेयर्स इशू करने जा रही है कंपनी, so that would be a primary market. But because the instrument, the security itself is equity in nature, तो हम इसको equity classify कर रहे होंगे. इसी तरह preference shares के अंदर हम equity market की बात करेंगे because preference shares are one type of preference shares are classified as equity, तो हम वहां पे उसको equity treat करेंगे. बॉन्ड की बात करते हैं तो, और सॉरी, आप बात मेरी कंटिन्यू होनी चाहिए थी कि ये प्राइमरी की एग्जांपल हो गई. सेकेंडरी इज योर प्राइम एग्जांपल, आपकी स्टॉक एक्सचेंज है. स्टॉक एक्सचेंज पे आपकी जो शेयर्स ट्रेड हो रहे हैं, जो बाय सेल हो रहे हैं, दैट्स द सेकेंडरी मार्केट फॉर इक्विटी. वी ऑल्सो हैव अ प्लेटफॉर्म फॉर बॉन्ड्स. ऐसा नहीं है कि हमारे पास नहीं है. आप इनफैक्ट स्टॉक एक्सचेंज की वेबसाइट पे ही देखेंगे, वहां पे सेक्शन आ रहा है. It's unfortunate that we do not have it as organized, as developed, because of a lot of reasons. Hamari financial markets are yet to be developed. So for us, that there are a lot of opportunities. So bond के case में भी ये है, when a company issues a bond for the first time, that is classified as primary market and secondary market. Commodity market में primary कैसे आता है? Commodity market के अंदर primary कैसे आएगा? Commodity market के अंदर primary तब आता है जब कोई डीलर फसल और कोई commodity like cotton, like sugar, like rice first time sell करने के लिए bidding मांगता है. ठीक है. So this is something which is really important. We need to understand कि commodity market में कैसे होता है. Commodity market में, again, I'll just quickly explain. There are dealers, brokers who actually get the cotton first time or that particular commodity, और वो उसको सेल के लिए जब रखते हैं पहली दफा जब वो आ रहा होता है, तो दैट वो उसकी प्राइमरी मार्केट होगी. जब वो एक चीज आ जाती है मार्केट में, उसकी खरीदने के बाद जो उसकी ट्रेडिंग हो रही है, वो कहलाएगी सेकेंडरी मार्केट. डेरिवेटिव मार्केट में किस तरीके से आएगा? इफ you're buying एन ऑप्शन, तो ऑप्शन राइटर ने जब ऑप्शन लिखा होगा, जब ऑप्शन क्रिएट कर रही होगी, वो जो भी प्लेटफॉर्म है जहां से ऑप्शन क्रिएट हो रहा है या फ्यूचर क्रिएट हो रहा है, दैट ऑप्शन, दैट फ्यूचर इटसेल्फ इज कमिंग इन द प्राइमरी मार्केट। फर्स्ट टाइम की बात कर रहा हूं, आपने वो ऑप्शन, आप हैं XYZ, एनीवन बाइज दैट ऑप्शन, नाउ यू आर ट्रेडिंग दैट ऑप्शन, you bought it, you sold it. That trading is also taking place in the derivative market, but that is part of your secondary market, not the primary. एंड फॉरेन एक्सचेंज के अंदर हम लोग ने एक डिस्कशन करा कि फॉरेन एक्सचेंज के अंदर technically we have secondary market because we are swapping currencies against one another. You're not creating currencies. Currencies are being created by the central bank and they are not created as part of your foreign exchange market. ठीक है, फॉरेन एक्सचेंज को आप डेरिवेटिव से लिंक करेंगे और डेरिवेटिव से लिंक करके अगर आप उसको बोलेंगे कि हमने कोई इंस्ट्रूमेंट या कोई डेरिवेटिव क्रिएट किया है, देन इट कैन बी क्लासिफाइड एज प्राइमरी, अदरवाइज पॉसिबल नहीं है. स्टॉक एक्सचेंज is basically an equity market. We can say that क्योंकि नाम भी itself यही कह रहा होता है, stocks refer to as shares falls under the category of equity. But अक्सर ये है कि अब जो exchanges हैं वो कहलाते स्टॉक एक्सचेंज है, but उन stock exchange जिसमें there are portion for other instruments as well. But in developed worlds there are different exchanges altogether for different type of instruments. हमारे if you talk about our country, we have the cotton mercantile exchange. तो उस पे वो exchange है cotton का आपका, cotton, because we are a cotton producing country. तो उस पे आपके cotton की सारी details आ रही होती हैं, cotton के futures भी आ रहे होते हैं, सब कुछ is available over there. The prices of certain commodities in Pakistan are updated and provided on daily basis. तो ये चीजें मौजूद होती हैं. I have another question which is related to trade interbank on swap rates. Can you explain this mechanism? I'll try that I cover this at the end. Otherwise, I'll answer you this privately. I'll share certain details with you guys so you can contact me. But it's not part of our discussion right now. So because it's trading mechanism, वो security पे चले जाएंगे. We'll discuss it later on. Firoz, do you have any questions from the audience?
Yes, Ahmad. There is a question from Rohan. FX is being traded interbank
Yeah.
or on swap rates. Can you please explain this?
Yes, I've answered this to Rohan that it's off topic. So I'll try to cover this mechanism at the end. If I'm unable to, then I can have a discussion with him later on privately, or I can share it with you and you can share it with him later on. Okay?
Sure,
Because
sure.
it's not, it's going on a different direction.
That's fine.
Uh,
Nothing else for now. You can continue.
all right. So I have an example, and most of these things what we have discussed are all part of the slide, so you don't have to worry about that. Mr. A invests in shares of ABC company for a period of 3 months. The market tapped by Mr. A would be which one? And you need to tell me this on the basis of categorization. The categorization would be क्या ये मनी मार्केट है या ये कैपिटल मार्केट है. रियली वांट योर आंसर्स ऑन दिस. एंड जितने लोग प्लीज इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर सकें, दैट वुड हेल्प मी अंडरस्टैंड दैट यू गाइस गॉट द कॉन्सेप्ट एंड वी आर क्लियर. Firoz, please share the answers once you start to get them.
Muhammad Umar is saying secondary market and money market. Danish is saying money market. Rohan is saying secondary market. Numan is saying capital market. Usman Muhammad Ashraf is saying it's money market. Kumbharaja is saying capital markets.
All right. So
Umar
we
is
got
changing.
all
Yeah,
right.
we
So we
have a
got
couple.
a fair. अच्छा अच्छा बताएं बताएं.
The Umar is saying the period of investment is less than 12 months. Kadir is saying categorized as money market. Hamad Rehan is saying money market. Farhan Shahid, money market. Sorry, equity market. Mohammad Saveed, money market. Mohammad Amir is saying capital market. Badrun Naseem is saying secondary market. Mohammad Mustahsam is saying could be cap or money market. Mohammad Atif Anwar is saying money market. Most of the answers are around money market
Money
and capital
market.
market.
All right, guys. Uh, Perfect. Now, this is the point where we need to be really clear as to what would be the case. Uh, the market would be the secondary market, and I'm assuming that it's a secondary market because generally, uh, अगर आईपीओ हो रहा होता, अगर प्राइमरी मार्केट होती तो उसको क्लासिफाई किया जा रहा होता कि इट्स एन आईपीओ. अगर नहीं क्लासिफाई किया जा रहा है एंड यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग इन शेयर्स or anyone is investing in shares, so we assume that you are investing via the stock market, stock exchange के थ्रू आप इसको उसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हो. ठीक है, तो ये तो हो गया सेकेंडरी मार्केट वाला. It's shares, so of course it would fall under the category of equity market type. उसका सॉरी equity market होगा, ये भी हमारा क्लियर हो गया. But please be sure without a doubt that the market tapped by Mr. A would be capital market. Now why? See, Mr. A invested for a period of 3 months. That's its choice. Mr. A invested out of his choice for a period of 3 months, but the security by nature is not short term. Does an equity instrument uh, have a maturity? And I'm talking about general ordinary shares. It does not. Even if you talk about preference shares, so there are redeemable ones and there are irredeemable ones. इरेडीमेबल वाले को ही हम इक्विटी के अंदर क्लासिफाई करते हैं, रिडीमेबल वाले को हम जनरली डेट के एम्बिट में लेके जा रहे हैं. सो और अगर चलो forget that, even if it's redeemable or irredeemable, agar by nature the instrument has a maturity of a period which goes beyond 12 months, the instrument would be part of which market? The instrument would be part of capital market. Now you approach and you invest in that particular security. तो आपने मार्केट कौन सी अप्रोच की है? आपने मार्केट अप्रोच की है कैपिटल मार्केट. यू हैवंट अप्रोच द मनी मार्केट. Because the instruments, whichever instruments are being bought and sold, traded on that market, by nature are long term, and we use the word capital to classify long term. The word capital actually classify long term. इसको फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट वाले पर्सपेक्टिव से भी अगर आप देखो, so we use the word weighted average cost of capital. It includes both debt and equity, but it includes long-term debt. So word capital includes any type of long-term capital, be it equity, be it debt, whatever it is, it has to be by nature long-term. अब आप उसको 1 महीने के लिए इन्वेस्ट करो, आप 15 दिन के लिए इन्वेस्ट करो, आप 6 साल के लिए इन्वेस्ट करो, that's your choice, but the market you're tapping would be capital market. हमें इंस्ट्रूमेंट की नेचर को देखते हुए मार्केट क्लासिफाई करनी है. Are we guys clear? All of you guys, those who had, there were people who actually said it's going to be capital market. Perfect, absolutely right. There were people who were a bit confused and said money market. No issues. I hope that you guys are now clear as to where we are going to classify any instrument accordingly. Please give me your responses so that I know that we are all on the same page. Firoz, if you can tell me if the audience is clear.
Yes, I'm seeing a mass agreement.
All right, that's brilliant. That's perfect, guys. So remember this, and in fact, the reason I kept this particular example was यही reason था कि ये confusion है कि we look at the months that where are you invest. It doesn't matter कि आप कैसे invest कर रहे हो, हमें instrument को देखते हुए classification करनी है. ठीक है. The other part of this question is, was it primary or secondary? I've already answered that, so I'm not going to discuss it any further, right? All these things we have covered, so I'm quickly going ahead with it. Short term के लिए क्या primary होती है, क्या होता है? We have discussed this T-bill, we have discussed about IPO. Now we have certain really interesting questions. We are going to discuss those. The first question, where would a SPO fall? SPO, if anyone is not aware of it, is a secondary public offer. It is also known as a FPO, which is known matlab follow on public offer. When you are when a company from private is going to become listed, it's going public for the first time, the company undertakes an IPO. IPO ke baad company can also undertake an FPO or an SPO, secondary public offer. This is the second time the company is issuing shares to the public. Where are you guys going to classify this SPO as? Would it be primary market or would it be secondary market? Firoz, can you please share the comments with me?
Yes, Hamad, the majority is with primary market, primary and capital market. There are some answers regard they are claiming it is a secondary market.
Acha, perfect ho gaya. All of you guys who said it's primary, and I hope it included those जिनको पिछली slide में थोड़ा सा confusion था. They are all in agreement. If it's primary, then your answer is absolutely right. It has to be primary because even it's a secondary public offer, you're going, what it means कि आप दूसरी दफा तीसरी दफा चौथी दफा whatever, you're going to the public to raise capital. Okay, so it means you're going to create shares and you're going to issue shares. So these are new instruments which are being created and offered to the public to raise money. So of course it's going to be primary market, and ये primary होगी and ये capital होगी. ठीक है, secondary इसलिए नहीं है क्योंकि ये secondary तब होती है जहां पे मैं पहले भी clear कर देता हूँ. Secondary में the security itself exists कर रही होती है and we are just exchanging it. यहाँ पे in case of an SPO, the security is created and issued to raise funds, for example. तो इसको हम classify कर रहे होते हैं as SPO. The second question, what about a right issue? And in fact, rights के साथ let's also talk about bonus issue. Where would you classify right issue and bonus issue? Again, my question remains the same. Would it be primary or would it be secondary? And देखो ये हम सबको पता है कि this would be capital market. It can't be money market. We all know because it's shares, so it has to be equity market. The only thing we need to understand is the distinction, whether it's primary now or it's secondary. Please give me your answers.
Hamad, mass
Firoz, can you
majority
please? Yeah, mass majority is
with primary market.
Perfect. The majority wins. Uh, the answer is of course primary market. क्योंकि चाहे bonus shares हो, चाहे right issue हो, these shares are new shares which are offered to the shareholders. Right issue में आप obviously पैसे generate कर रहे होते हो और उसमें bonus में नहीं, but shares आपके new होते हैं. What about private placement? Although we had a discussion on private placement, private placements में क्या होता है? Private placements भी because we are I think bit short of time, private placement would fall under primary markets. Uh, there's another question I kept for you guys. What about borrowing from a bank? Remember, you go and you take money from the bank. Market to है ना. Short term बैंक से लोगे तो money market हो जाएगा. Long term बैंक से लोगे तो automatically capital market ho jayega. We need to be clear on that. It depends upon the maturity of the money or the loan you're actually taking. But ye kidhar aayega? Would it be primary or secondary? Is primary mein to there's creation. So you need to be very thoughtful in this. And I would really request you all ke if whatever your answer is, whether it's secondary, whether it's primary, try to give a one-liner explanation. Why do you think that's the answer? Take a couple of minutes. When you borrow from a bank, the market you tap is distinguished as primary or secondary. Firoz, once the answer starts to come in, please share it with me.
There are multiple answers of primary, a couple of secondary as well.
All right. Those who have said primary, can they explain why? Because I believe a bank does not create money. Then why, in their opinion, it's primary? I'm not saying that they're wrong or they're right. I just want an explanation, please.
Okay, Mohammad Suleiman Samap has explained. He's saying a new product is being created, that's why it's primary. Asim is saying would be primary as to approach First Avenue. Mohammad Mustassam is saying Farhan Shahid, because the new loan is being issued and already borrowed interest is being transferred. Mohammad Asim is saying relationship with client and bank. Hamad Rehan, primary market because the issue of fund is new. Usman Muhammad is saying borrowing from the bank is secondary and money market. Mohammad Ruslan, loan result in creation of money to be used.
All right, I got a fair idea. The first answer, my apologies, I do not recall the name, but the first answer was absolutely perfect. See, when you borrow from a bank, you do not actually, you're not just borrowing money. The bank is not offering you money. It's not creating money. It's offering you a loan. The instrument, the product is actually the loan. So the loan is created. So when you take a loan from the bank, what you actually do, you tap the primary market. Now I'll just quickly explain this. If you guys are aware of what happened in the 2008 financial crisis, there were companies, the mortgage companies, which created loans and they sold the loan. They lend the money to consumers, to borrowers like you and me, like individuals, right? This was the primary market. Now understand this. This was the primary market. Freddie Mae, फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक कंपनी थी, लीजिंग कंपनी, वो लोन्स देती थी, मॉर्गेज लोन्स देती थी पब्लिक को. ये प्राइमरी मार्केट थी क्योंकि उसने एक लोन क्रिएट किया, उनको दे दिया. जेपी मॉर्गन चेज बैंक जो है वो फ्रेडी मे के पास आता है, उससे जो उसने एग्जिस्टिंग लोन प्रोड्यूस किए हुए थे वो लोन बाय कर लेता. दिस इज द सेकेंडरी मार्केट. क्योंकि वो लोन एग्जिस्ट कर रहा है, दे आर नॉट क्रिएटिंग मोर लोन्स, दे आर जस्ट ट्रांसफरिंग लोन from Freddie Mae to JP Morgan Chase. What JP Morgan Chase does, multiple loans खरीद लेता है, सारे लोन्स को कंबाइन करता है और उन लोन्स को सर्टिफिकेट्स की या बॉन्ड्स की शक्ल में तब्दील कर देता है, which was classified as mortgage backed securities. उनको शेयर्स की तरह, बॉन्ड्स की तरह बना देता है और बना के उनको फर्स्ट टाइम इशू करता है. सो अब जो जेपी मॉर्गन ने ये एमबीएस इशू करने हैं, ये किस मार्केट में इशू करेगा? ये प्राइमरी मार्केट में इशू करेगा. व्हाई? बिकॉज ये फर्स्ट टाइम सिक्योरिटी इशू हो रही है, उसमें बहुत सारे लोग इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. इट वुड बी लाइक एन आईपीओ बट फॉर बॉन्ड्स, राइट? सो इसी एम्बेट के अंदर वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड. सो व्हेन अ लोन इज क्रिएटेड एंड इट्स गिवन टू XYZ person or party, it's the primary market. If the bank sells the loan to some other bank, that would be done in the secondary market. And it happens. HBL actually bought certain portfolio of loans from Citibank Pakistan. Bank Islami bought portfolio of consumer loans from which bank? Citibank. तो ये जो हो रहा था, ये सेकेंडरी मार्केट थी. ठीक है, एग्जिस्टिंग लोन्स को आपने खरीद लिया, जस्ट ट्रांसफरिंग ऑफ लोन फ्रॉम वन बैंक टू अनदर. इसके अलावा what we have is selling of bond held as investment. We'll consider this as one final question and then we'll move to the participants, the discussion in the slide for the participants in the markets. If you are selling bonds you held as investments, ये जो आप बॉन्ड सेल कर रहे होगे, प्राइमरी मार्केट में कर रहे होगे कि सेकेंडरी मार्केट में कर रहे होगे?
Secondary capital, secondary market, secondary.
Perfect. So we are, I believe we are all clear with respect to how it works. I kept another question: selling of an option prior to exercise date. Let's take 2 minutes on this as well. ये क्या होगा, secondary or primary?
Secondary. Till now, there is only one answer.
I'll just wait for a few seconds as well.
Let me rephrase. Same answer from multiple participants.
All right, that's perfect. Yes, selling of an option prior to exercise date would be your secondary market, because आप उसको ट्रेड कर रहे हो, आपने ऑप्शन को खरीदा प्राइमरी मार्केट से, then you started to trade it, that becomes part of your secondary market. I think I missed out one thing. My sincere apologies. डेरिवेटिव मार्केट को आप कैपिटल में क्लासिफाई करते हो कि मनी मार्केट में करते हो? That totally depends upon the instrument the derivative is covering. शॉर्ट टर्म इंस्ट्रूमेंट का डेरिवेटिव होगा तो वो मनी मार्केट का पार्ट होगा. लॉन्ग टर्म इंस्ट्रूमेंट का पार्ट होगा, का डेरिवेटिव होगा तो वो कैपिटल मार्केट का पार्ट होगा, because derivative itself is linked to the underlying security. I believe we all know this. ठीक है, so उसको इस तरीके से हमने क्लासिफाई करना है. So this is a very our last thing we are going to discuss. Firoz, how much time we have?
We have 2 minutes as per the schedule, but
I'll try to wrap up, but I'll just take a couple more minutes, then I'll have a question answer session.
Yeah, that's fine.
If audience has.
Considering the fact that you were answering the questions during the session, so I think it's fine if you take a couple of more minutes.
All right, thank you so much. Who participate in these financial markets? It's pretty simple. I just say anyone and everyone participate in it. See, you, all of us can and we do actually participate in the financial markets in various forms. We have credit cards, we have bank accounts, we buy shares, we sell shares, uh, we go to the foreign exchange markets often via different ways, but we do. But इसको अगर हम सब categorize कर लें और तीन broad categories में लाएं, so we have the government, we have institutional investors, and we have individual investors. These two are the most important and the most influencing participants in the financial markets. These individual investors not. These are us actually, individuals, right? Institutional investors may we have a significant portion of uh, banks, we have DFIs, we have insurance companies. Insurance companies survive technically on financial markets. In fact, उनका काम investments है, selling, buying, etc., etc. The government, of course, the government borrows, the government issues securities, borrows from the industry, from the financial industry, the financial system, so on and so forth. And the objectives of these vary. For example, if I talk about, because I'm focusing here more because of its importance, if you talk about institutional investor, a bank's objective in the financial market, it's quite different from the objectives of an insurance company. A DFI might work and works on similar lines as a bank, but the objectives of these are different. See, insurance company का business, अब इसको समझने के लिए we need to understand कि उसका business mechanism different है. Insurance companies दो जगह से पैसा कमा रही है. एक प्रीमियम है and the other is investments. And investments plays a vital role in an insurance company. And these investments are both in the capital market, it's in the money market as well. Money market में क्यों है? Because उनको short term भी चाहिए claims की वजह से. It can be both in prime as part of primary, it can be both as part of secondary, and it is concentrated mainly in four markets: bond market, equity market, derivative, and foreign exchange. Commodity में insurance companies do not play a role. Similarly, banks की बात करें, banks के लिए money market is crucial. Banks can, the entire banking system relies heavily on money market, but capital market क्या नहीं होती? Of course, capital market होती है. There was one thing which I promised that I'm going to take up later on, which was related to DFI. कि DFI किधर fall होगा? तो जब मैंने बैंक की बात की थी कि बैंक creates a loan, that loan is then considered as the primary market. So when you talk about DFI itself or a bank itself is neither a primary market or a secondary market. आप उस वक्त क्या कर रहे हो, how you're approaching it, that would classify the market you're tapping, right? So if you're, because see, DFI also give long term loans भी देता है, सब कुछ देता है. So if ABC company approaches DFI for a loan, the transaction is happening in the primary market. So in short, we understand these markets. I hope we do. There's a correction in slide. I'll make sure that I do that immediately and I share it with Feroz so that you guys have the right content with you. Just one thing, I'll just say one thing before I conclude is if you want to understand the objective of anything, be it what would be the objective of government in the financial market, what would be an objective of an institutional investor or an individual, you need to understand their business objective first. For example, an individual, I'm an individual and Feroz is an individual. We both have different objectives. I may want to have capital gains Okay, so I'm a trader. My objective is to trade and book capital gains. I might become a speculator as well. I want to speculate in the market. I want to make uh, short-term returns. Firoz, on the other hand, has a different personality, and he wants to hold on uh, and consume dividends. So he has a long-term uh, uh, perspective into the investment. ठीक है, इसी तरह इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर्स का भी सेम चीज डिटरमिन की जाएगी कि उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव किस तरफ जा रहा है. Objective remains, in short, remains the same. It can either be accumulation of wealth, and the accumulation of wealth can, sorry, either be via holding the investment long term or via trading. Now, when we talk about trading, you can include speculation in that as well, because derivative market के अंदर technically speculation होती है. The instruments derivatives themselves are created, or the objective behind derivatives was to secure or to hedge the risk, sorry, rather than secure. But that does not stop individuals or institutional investors to speculate and book gains via trading. See, so your objective needs to be classified based on what you as an institution, as government, or as individual wants to achieve. That's all from my end. Thank you so much. I would like to thank Feroz as well for organizing this and for being so helpful and supportive, Harun Jan and the ACCA Pakistan team, and the audience as well, so for being so participative. I hope this session helped you all, and I was able to clarify all your queries. Feroz, if there's anything, please let me know. If not, then can we end the session?
Yes, thank you, Hamad. Thank you so much for your time, for your knowledge, and for helping out all the participants with the queries and the questions. I would like to inform all of you that I have made the WhatsApp group, and there are multiple participants in that group. So if any one of you might have missed a question, or you got something in your mind that you want to ask Hamad, I've added Hamad as well in that group. You can ask him the question, and if not, I would highly recommend you to utilize that group only for the purpose of BFSI course and the topics that have been delivered in these sessions. Secondly, our next topic would be on identifying, I believe Hamad it's identifying financial and managing, identifying and managing financial, sorry for that.
Yes.
So Hamad will be delivering that topic as well on the 29th of August, and we will discuss about anything that happens during the week, or if you guys have any questions during the week. One thing that I want you all to do is to share your feedback regarding today's session for Hamad, for his ease. So if there is anything that he wants to uh, take action on, so it will be helpful for him.
All right. Thank you so much. One last thing. If anyone wants to connect with me and have discussions later on, or for any other purpose, I'm available both on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can have connect with me on LinkedIn as Hamad Vohra FCCA and as Hamad J Vohra on Facebook. Thank you so much. Thank you, Feroz. I'm signing out then.
Thank you so much, guys. I have uploaded the screenshot for the WhatsApp joining QR code. If any one of you wants to join the WhatsApp group, you can download that from the handout section, and you can use that by scanning that image from the WhatsApp settings. And thank you all for your time. I hope you have learned a lot in today's session, and will learn obviously a lot in the coming sessions. Thank you everyone for your patience and your time.